The Wa East constituency shares boundaries with the West Mamprusi district to the northwest, West Gonja to the south, and Sisale East to the north. Fonsi, the district capital, is about 150 kilometers away from Wa, the Upper West regional capital. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the Wa East constituency has an estimated population of close to 100,000. The area has 5 major ethnic groups, namely the Gaba, Lobi, Wala, Sisala, and Chakale. Other minority groups are Gonja, Bulses, and Fulani. Like other constituencies in the Upper West region, Agric is the mainstay of the people, engaging over 90% of the inhabitants. Politically, the Wa East voted the NDC in 1992, with Alhaji Isahaku Salia as Member of Parliament. In the 1996 elections, Alhaji Isahaku Salia was re-elected, while the NDC maintained its dominance, winning 75.4% of the presidential votes. Even though the votes for the NDC reduced to 55.8% in the 2000 elections, Alhaji Isahaku Salia still managed to win the parliamentary seat in his third-term bid. He however lost to Godfred Seidu Jasaw in 2004, with the NDC getting a little over 46% of the presidential votes. The NPP maintained their victory in 2008, with Godfred Seidu Jasaw gaining 10,047, as against the NDC's Amin Salifu, who managed to pull 9,037 votes. Amin Salifu launched a comeback in 2012, defeating Godfred Seidu. He was however beaten by former Chieftaincy Minister Dr. Seidu Jasaw during the NDC's parliamentary primaries. Godfred Seidu pursued his third-term parliamentary bid in 2016, defeating Dr. Jasaw to represent the Wa East in Parliament. Despite these smooth political transitions, residents say the Wa East constituency is still plagued by poor roads, inadequate infrastructure, lack of health facilities, and youth unemployment.
The youth we are many in the constituency, and we are challenged in several ways. One is about skills. Two is about education. And largely we are an agrarian constituency, and most of the youth are interested in agric. But their challenge is how to get the support in doing it. Sometimes they have the powered eye, the strength that they can do a certain number of farm acres that they can plow on, but they don't have the natural resources to do that. And we are looking at ways that we can get, in a way, support from some other people, or people who can aid us in one way or the other, so that we can also actually produce enough.
I think our constituency is, according to the district league assessment table, is one of the poorest in the country. So we have a lot of development challenges facing us. If you look at the issue of health, you know that you come to realize that a lot of people don't have health facilities. You need to travel a long distance in order to get access to a health facility.
We still have a number of communities which have no hook to the national grid. Yeah, the likes of Duse, Motigu, Gurumbele. The road network is very bad. We have a lot of bridges, rivers and streams at Wa East. So passing through Manwe to Danyokra, you have more than 4 rivers to build, such that it can be more travel during the rainy season. Apart from that, if you go to Kolkwon area, a lot of rivers. So in some of the areas, it's the people who have used hoes and cutlass to construct the road.
The NPP parliamentary candidate for Wa East, Salifu Yakubu, says, given his experience as a former assembly member, he is the best candidate to address the development challenges confronting the constituency.
The chances are bright. You know, Wa East is, even though we've won it a number of times and the NDC has also won it, but our chances are bright looking at the votes that we have always garnered in every general election. And I think the last time we lost the seat was 2012, and that was when we were not in government. And it has been the trend that when we are not in government, maybe our strength goes down and the opponent is able to kind of overtake us. But this time around, you can see that there's a lot of massive development in the constituency, road infrastructure, school infrastructure. And the district is doing well in terms of progress to development. And I think that with that, we'll be rewarded with another 4 years, and we'll also get a seat as in Parliament.
He says he is sure of retaining the seat for the NPP because his opponent is not known to the constituents.
I grew up in the constituency all my life. I went to my basic school in the constituency, and unlike the other side, from the NDC side, he has never stayed in the constituency. He hasn't schooled in the constituency, and he never schooled there. So for me, I think I'm more entrenched because I know what the people need.
A lecturer at the University for Development Studies, Dr. Godfred Seidu Jasaw, who is representing the NDC, believes the development dynamics of the Wa East constituency deserves a competent leader who is development-oriented and has the requisite lobbying skills like him to take the residents to the promised land.
The history of the constituency shows that it is always the NDC that comes into power and you see significant development taking place in the constituency. And so to help my own people, it was evident that we needed to come into the mainstream MPship contest and then go ahead to see what I can contribute in these regards.
Dr. Jasaw denied assertions by his opponent that he is new to the constituency.
Well, I think he doesn't know me so much because I'm relatively around. I've been more around than him. I started teaching in the constituency 23 years ago. From training college, that was my first post. So I've trained kids from the constituency as a trained teacher.
So how will constituents vote in the December poll?
If we look at in terms of road network, it is NDC that brought those things. If we're looking at in terms of electricity, it is the NDC that brought those things. Water, NDC. Healthcare is NDC. And I'm talking about education. In the secondary schools, it is the NDC that brought the 2 secondary schools in West East. And they also facilitated the training college in West East as well. So when you're looking at it, we are going to look for people that are developmental oriented, and then I think it's the NDC that is into that direction. And in terms of my parliamentary candidate, I have seen that in the NDC candidate is a sustainability scientist and someone who is more development oriented, and I would like to go for that person.
We are farmers here. We need markets and those things to sell our produce. At first, we were not having good road to carry our produce to one market, but now I think you can see it. This one is clear for us to see. I'm not the one saying it. Yes. There is a program we call Planting for Food and Jobs and Rearing for Food and Jobs. These two programs came in to support us in this community. I think there are a lot of people in this community which the government have given, some tips to rail. I think there are things that are helping the community. And then we here, majority of us are farmers. So this planting for food came here to save us. At first, if we want to buy fertilizer, you have to move to the regional capital, that's why, in order to buy fertilizer. But for now, we can access fertilizer in this our very community.
For Citi News, my name is Latif Mahama, reporting.